Hey everybody, my friend John Arthur Jones wrote a post on Facebook that's getting sent around quite a bit from people like, well, my friend Joseph Tanyos and a number of other people. Um, Although in total a small group, but uh, it is one missive that I think is quite that should be distributed and discussed. And he says, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me, that Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf is the worst mayor that we've had in, I believe he said, his 47-year history. And in Oakland, if I got that right. And he said that under her leadership or her watch, everything, he used in capital letters, everything has gotten worse in Oakland. And he says the media gives her a pass. Now, when John refers to the media, he seems to be referring to white media that's owned by white folks. And because I know that I haven't given the mayor a pass, and the mayor is my god sister, but she is the mayor of Oakland. And that comes with a heady responsibility, such that you can't decide that you're going to ignore something that goes wrong. You have to call it out in order to get a better mayor, right? And I certainly hope Libby sees it that way, and I think she does. But I digress. Then he continues that this has gone downhill, and maybe cut to the chase. If you take a look at the rate of homelessness, and I mean talking about before the pandemic, lack of affordable housing, and overall the divide between the haves and the have-nots in Oakland, which is at an unprecedented level, or was before the pandemic, he's right. The only saving grace was that the unemployment rate was low. We didn't do economic development anymore. The mayor, I remember telling me that Kiva, a private organization, a startup that had microloans, essentially served as the organization that did what we used to do in the past with the Oakland Business Development Corporation, give out loans of various types. Sometimes those loans were transferred to grants and so on because someone couldn't pay them back. Kiva doesn't have that provision. But to foist off our economic development responsibilities onto a private startup, I thought then and I think now is irresponsible. And by and large, I hate to say this, if you just take the pandemic out of it, John's right. But where John is wrong is he gave the Oakland City Council a pass for some odd reason. And he didn't say, hey, Paul Cobb or Zinni, I want to bring my message to your publication, right? So my point, John, is you're part of this too, okay? And it's great to call out the problem, but when you call out the media, don't exacerbate the problems by putting your message on a white media platform, which is what you did, as opposed to giving us the opportunity to help broadcast your message. There's something going on there. And there's something going on with us where we don't collectively support media businesses that others of us start. I'm putting that out there. All right. So, but I'm not putting it out there to attack you. I'm saying, hey, look, next time you got something you want to get off your chest, bring it to Oakland News Now and put it out there. But don't sit there and beg for, right, the traditional media. Because traditional media, let me tell you something that's going on with that. They don't have the money to do what you and a number of people want them to do. They're hanging by a thread. Largely because they don't understand how to use new technology to get out their word. Like my friend Clint Riley's buying SF Weekly and SF Examiner, good luck. But they're hemorrhaging cash and are going to continue to hemorrhage cash under his watch unless he recognizes that he's really bought a tech company and pivots, which I doubt Clint will do. That's not Clint's area. And he's not going to find somebody who thinks in that way. And so what's going to happen is it's going to continue to hemorrhage money. That's just a fact. Okay. But I digress. Getting back to Oakland, the Oakland City Council is equally responsible for the fall of Oakland, just as the mayor. For example, in these current council sessions after election, we've had a focus that spells business as usual, like this effort to ban natural gas. Fine, but hey, why push us toward electric, which is more expensive? In other words, it's pushing a higher cost Oakland. And why not use legislation like SB 628 Beal to establish tax increment financing zones so we can get more funding for more extremely affordable housing, and then use some of that money to help the businesses, and then call for a slight adjustment in the legislation, one line that allows that money to be used to help businesses. Why not? That legislation has been on the books since 2015. The city council has never used it. I have said it to Rebecca and everyone else. And Rebecca gets on Twitter, of all places, which I wish she'd stop doing, and she blames other people. She is the at-large council member. She's in the seat. So Rebecca, rather than, blame other people, start saying this is what you need to do and start taking the blame for some things. You're in the seat now, okay? But this stuff about everybody pointing fingers at each other, who are and have titles, have stopped. John has the right to point fingers. He's a citizen. He voted and has been supportive of Libby, among others, in the city council, in their efforts, and has been a loyal soldier. But at some point, when you look around the city, you have to say enough's enough. And I think that's what John is doing, and I, for one, support that. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. And to finish, I don't think John is being intentionally hostile. He's just being honest.